What up, friends? We are back here talking golf. oddschecker.com/US. If you missed the outright picks video, go check that in the odds checker feed with my guy at Rick Run Good, Rick Gaiman. It is up there. Give it a look. See, we go through the outright field. Now we're going to talk some props with my guy at Tour Picks, Joe Idone. Joe, major season is over. It, just feels like a big come down. FedEx Cup will be in a few weeks. There'll be some fun, but I don't know. I guess it's only like the hardcore fans or the people that caught our Cam Smith touts last week who want a piece of our opinions for the 3M in Minnesota, but should still be a fun one.
Yeah, we're here to prop it, man. Like always. What a way to sort of finish major season. I think that it was just awesome. Everything about it. We obviously benefited from having a Cam ticket, but the experience of having the most noteworthy name in the game in the final stretch and some other guys trying to sort of chase him down was fun. We had the history of the old course. So it was a great way to wrap up major season. We've got a decent little run up here into the FedEx Cup playoffs, and it's another chance to make another dollar. I'm ready, buddy.
Okay, before we get into that, and I know people just want the milk, I'm going to kind of put you on the spot here. And your answer's allowed to be no, nothing, not even looked, don't even care, because that's actually my answer.
Okay.
Do you own are you looking? Have you made, do you care to make a 2023 major bet? For me, it's like, no, I'm not in it. Like, who won the majors? Scotty, JT, Fitz, Cam. It was like 215 to ones and like 28 to ones. I'm not ready to decide which really good player I want to over bet. Like, I'm simply not ready. There's so many good players I want to plant my flag in the ground for, but I'm not here to say they're going to win majors. And then if I like a player, does that mean I got to pick them in all four majors? So yeah. I asked the question, I rambled, but I got nothing. I'm in no rush. Maybe after a hot football Sunday, the account will be buzzing. I'll go for a look, but you couldn't even pay me to look right now. And I know like the grids are 24/7, 365 for majors. Not for me yet. Not for me yet, Joe.
I've taken a peek at Masters numbers. I have not placed anything. Usually around December, right after Christmas time, I start to get the itch and I'll put a couple in. I actually had last week, funny enough, I had an old Victor Hovland to win the Open Championship ticket that I had placed from December at a horrible number at 28 to 1, but it turned into like another horse in the race. But yeah, so I usually look around that time. There's two things, right? I feel like the books have gotten sharper on these future numbers from where we were at maybe 3, 4, 5 years ago in terms of, you could catch a guy. Two, there's so much uncertainty now with what's about to take place with potentially another round of PGA Tour defects going to live. How does the OWGR shake out? Like, are these guys going to be able to get into major championships? There's a lot of unknowns right now. I haven't really looked to answer your question.
People send me DMs. They're like, there's a 66 for Cam Young here. There's this thing for Cam Young there. I'm like, those are nice numbers. I love what Cam Young's done. I'm just still not ready to put his name to like click submit and yeah. So, okay. Wish we had more juice for you on that. Let's go. Joe, start us off here, buddy. T20, your guy waving the flag, my flag up here in Canada, but it doesn't stop for you. Probably the most popular outright bet of the week, Adam Svensson, but you are still gonna. I know you're there, and you're gonna make it part of the prop card as well. So let's hear it.
Yep, T20 on Adam Svensson. I think you said it best a couple of weeks ago, where if you've ridden these guys into events all year, and then they're gonna show up to the 3M, and you're not going to take them, it doesn't make much sense. So I've been on Svensson basically since February in his Florida run. Still really good on approach, third in the field in birdies are better, which is going to take a lot of this week, 7th in strokes gained total. So the recent form is solid as well. 4 consecutive top 25s. Kid's really good. He's playing really well. There's a plus 200 on a top 20. I believe that was over at Caesars Sportsbook on the odds checker grid, which is the best number available. 2 to 1 on the top 20. And I even got something else, a little nugget here. If you're going to like Adam Svensson, take him first round leader, which is a 50 to 1 wager. He is in the very first group out on Thursday morning, 6:50 a.m. tee time, which would indicate a substantial weather advantage, given that the winds in the afternoon are looked to pick up. It's going to get hot in Minnesota. He's played well out of the gates with these really early morning tee times in the past in events. 50-1 on a first round leader. I'll throw that in as a little bonus nugget there on Svenny.
I don't mind that. I'm not a first round leader guy, but
Me neither.
you might have sold me on that. I'm going to stick in this T20 market, Joe. And I don't know, maybe it's a bit of a surprising name for me. Could even end up on an outright ad. Emiliano Grillo, 65-1 to win this thing on DraftKings. But for the moment, we're saying we're taking the 275 for the T20 on Grillo, Joe, who I don't really care much for anything that happened with him, in the Open Championship, but he was second in his last start at the John Deere, and he was third here in 2020. Just think there's enough for me to make a move on Grillo. Even when he contends, he might flip the double bird because he thinks the ball should have gone in it. So there's always that fun part of it. But yeah, nice little form. Bad event. John Deere finished second. He's come here before, played well. I think a lot of things link up for me and Grillo this week. And I'll budge you in line here. I'll go right into my right into a T20 scene, Joe. Matthias Schwab for me, guy. I was thinking about maybe making that outright bet. It is a really huge number. Disappointing miscut where he was pretty popular at the Barracuda. Was going off like 30-40. Now I'm seeing him as high as 95-1 on FanDuel to win for that odds checker grid. I've stepped in for now, the plus 165 for the T40, kind of flying under the radar. He had a stretch of 5 events with 3 finishes of T event or better. Previously to the Barracuda, tied for 16th in a stronger, equally strong. I don't know. The John Deere, he was 16th and under the regular scoring rules after abandoning everybody in Stableford. Said a lot. Schwab, honestly, just compared to his Barracuda situation, I feel where he was so popular, I feel like a lot of people swung and missed there. We're going to come right in. He's going to have a strong one.
All right, my T40 this week, a little bit of an unknown name until maybe a few weeks ago. Callum Tarren, also right there around the same number as you got. He's plus 160 over on the grid for a T40 is the best price. Has really burst onto the scene recently. Like he struggled for a little while, had to really earn his stripes. T30 at the US Open out of nowhere, and then finished 6th at the John Deere. So the thing with the John Deere is I do think it makes a good comp, and we've seen some success. Cam Champ obviously pulled this off last year where he showed signs there. Midwest Golf Course, TPC, shares a lot of similarities in terms of overall how it plays with the Birdie Fest tendencies. The other thing is he's deep, like he's long off the tee, 8th in the field in driving distance. This event's been in place 3 years, and I've hit 2 bombs, Geoff, of the 3 years. Wolf at 125-1, Champ at 150 last year, and they just did it by taking this place apart off the tee with the driver. I know Michael Thompson was a different scenario, but I think Callum Tarren has the skill set to be able to do that with his length off the tee, plus 160 on a T40. That's my placement bet there.
All right, Joe, you wrap us up here. We both have a matchup involving the same player who we are on, but we're picking on different players. So you lead off the Nick Hardy matchup experience here as we wrap this one up.
Yep, mine was over on DraftKings Sportsbook against Matthew NeSmith. I actually like, but I like Nick Hardy a little bit more, and here's why. I think NeSmith, there are 2 players who are throughout their careers, I think, are going to go through these peaks and valleys. NeSmith had his peak right around the Valspar Championship where he made his run back in March, in early April, played well at the Heritage, those type of events, and isn't necessarily trending upward anymore. Nick Hardy is. He's also a lot substantially longer off the tee than NeSmith, but he had a T30 at the John Deere, 14th at the US Open. Nick Hardy, like these are still quality finishes, 8th at the Travelers, playing really well. I think he's ascending. I think that he's confident, and I think that he's ready to to take this place apart this week. Who did you end up grabbing him in a matchup against?
So I'm picking on the Todd father, Brendan Todd, minus 115 for me, but it's all about that. Even the ceilings makes me circle around Nick Hardy in the outright market here, Joe. A very consistent player in Brendan Todd, but he does not create the opportunities that Nick Hardy does. 11th, gaining strokes off the tee in 11 of his last 13 events will set up perfectly for the trouble that lurks around Minnesota. Gained with his irons in the last 3. This is a guy, birdie opportunities. He seems to be creating them at the moment. So that's even something I'm considering, in the outright market. I think he's flirting around 50-1. So there's my case for supporting Nick Hardy this week. For Joe, I am Geoff. We'll be back next week as, we're going to finish this golf season strong, especially before we get into the FedEx Cup playoffs. Major season is over, but that doesn't mean there aren't great opportunities. You know what? Major season is over. It's the most fun. It's where I get my most exposed, but the opportunities to hit a number are right here in Minnesota this week, be it in the props, be it in the outrights, and probably for the next couple as we go through the Wyndham here to round out the regular season. So we'll be here. We'll be banging them away. Smash that like button. For Geoff, I'm Joe. Thank you, oddschecker.com/US. We out.